I should not have taken my melatonin.
Good morning, Baltimore.
Wrong musical. But love the effort.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Third Act Thursdays. We are going to be talking about Chicago from Robert Vela today. It was one of my favorite musicals that we saw this season.
Mine too. Great.
A queen.
Okay, so let's just get right into it. We're going to start with the technical elements of the show.
Yes.
I loved this set and
Me
how
too.
simple it was.
Me too.
It was a different take on it that I had never seen before.
Loved it.
What I did enjoy that this musical did was the use of those, are they called risers? The things that carry the people on stage. The things they have in Newsies.
Well, that was
the
our
wheels.
set. I mean, it's not a riser. I don't know what it is.
There's a name for it, and I don't want to be incorrect.
Here's a picture of it. This thing would move.
Yeah, so they had one of those, or I think they had 3 of them, and
Yes.
they would come in and out of the set
And people would get up on
periodically.
it.
Yeah, they'd
They
have
use
people on
different
them, or they'd climb on top of
sunblock.
them. Yeah, but also my favorite piece of the set was the staircase, the moving staircase.
Didn't it light up?
Yes, it
Like
did light
different
up.
colors?
Yes.
Or was it the same colors?
Yes, because they used it for Billy's entrance, and then
Mhm.
they used it for Roxy,
Mm-hmm.
the number Roxy. Yeah.
Yes, that was really cool.
I really enjoyed how simple it was.
Mhm.
I thought it, as funny as it sounds, it added to the story. Like it made you really pay attention to what was going on in front of you. It made you really pay attention to what these characters were going through, how they felt. Their actions really had to move the story along because the set was not there to be a crutch, I guess.
You know what it was? It was the raw talent that they had.
Oh yeah.
And it was very forward. You know how some musicals are like very laid back, you hit the note, you walk away, you're like, it's very like, como se dice, classic, Broadway classic. But this was very raw, it was very like in your face, like they would walk up to the lip of the stage, which I love that. I love eye contact, I love the physical interaction with like people.
Yeah.
And I think that really brought it to another level.
30 seconds in,
Oh,
Daniela and I were like,
Losing it.
we have just been transported.
to New York City.
Yes. Where are we? They really did a fantastic job from the beginning, from the very beginning of the show. Granted, we saw it on closing night.
So they were
the
giving
matinee
it
they
their
had on
all.
Sunday. So it was the last show. Everybody puts all their energy into it because it's the last time they're gonna perform these roles. And it was just radiant. Like you could feel the energy from the stage to the audience, and it was so great. Like these kids really enjoyed being up there and portraying these characters, even though the characters are so like dark and so what's the word, damaged. But I think they all did a very, very excellent job at portraying these characters the way they're meant to be.
To me, the ensemble and the cast seemed very professional.
Oh, yeah.
And that's not a lot. You don't see that a lot down here. They were extremely professional with how they handled their exits, their entrances. Like, the whole ensemble was on it. There was not one person that was like, okay, I'm just going to go up there and say these lines and I'm going to go home. Like, no. They were so into it.
Yeah.
And I love passionate kids like that. I love... like that's what I want my students to have whenever I want to teach.
I think that goes hand in hand with having a passion for this, is that you take it seriously because it is something that you hold near and dear to your heart. And again, I mean, that showed effortlessly with these kids.
Oh yeah.
One thing this is probably the only thing I didn't like, and it was the costumes. I felt like
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I felt like, I mean, they weren't bad.
No.
Like, they weren't like, oh, like I didn't see them
But
and
we wanted more.
But yeah, I felt like they did a really good job at playing up the dark parts of it, that I wanted more of that flashy, like, early 1900s vibe. Like, like the very...
At least the costume changed
blingy,
during the second.
Like, very blingy, very over the top, like what Chicago is about. Again, costumes were not horrible, but I think I just wanted a little bit more, just to add to the fact that the backdrop was basically black. So it would have, the contrast would have been beautiful.
Oh, yes.
Beautiful.
And that's like us being picky.
Yeah. As far as the lights, I don't know what about it, but like I didn't see a technical element that I didn't like drop my jaw. Like I was like, what?
The lighting was perfect.
Yeah, like,
it's when you have that full black stage, it stands out. The lighting really it needs to work with it. It needs to be at the same level.
One thing I personally loved during the cell block tango.
Sorry.
One thing I personally loved during the cell block tango was the use of the gloves. Now, for those of you who saw it, the 6 murderesses for cell block tango came out and, you know, with their chairs, and they did the cell block tango, and they all had white gloves on.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for those of you who are familiar with the show, know that throughout the song, we hear testimonies, if you will, from these 6 women about why they're in jail in the first place. And as the story progresses, at the end, it's revealed why the crime they committed. Now, what Robert Vela did was, when the crime is finally revealed, the white gloves come off and they're red gloves, which I thought was so beautifully executed.
Oh, yeah.
And the lights changed too.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was beautiful. We forgot for a hot second that this was a high school production.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, these kids came out there and killed it.
We were like this the whole time.
Yeah, we were like,
oh my God.
Props to everybody who worked on this musical, because it was just such a joy to watch, and I would watch it again for the rest of my life.
Me too.
They really knocked it out of the park with this
They
one.
really
I mean,
did.
I cannot even. Okay.
They executed the music very, very well.
Like any show, there are a few moments, vocal moments.
Oh, yeah.
That happen to everyone, as you saw in our Monday's video. They happen to everyone. I don't think they took anything away from the actual performance.
No, not at all.
I mean, it happens. I mean, especially us as actors, we know, like, those don't make or break a performance. The one thing I vividly remember is right before intermission, like, okay, so lights go down, intermission starts. And Daniela and I sat there for like a good 2 minutes, just
processing,
speechless.
Yeah.
Like, jaws on the floor, not knowing what to say, and we were like,
the physical pictures were beautiful. There wasn't a time that I was like, this is boring. Like, no, everything was just perfect. The character consistency was there from everybody, from the ensemble members all the way to the lead actresses.
The interaction between even the ensemble members was so great.
They looked like they were having so much fun.
It was amazing. Like, I thought every inch of that stage had something going on. No matter how slight it was, you caught it, and it wasn't too distracting. Like, everything was just so perfectly balanced, in my opinion.
They used the space very well. I know you love talking about space.
I love talking about space.
They used the space very, very well.
Yeah, they did use the space very well. Thank you for pointing that out.
And like we said, the pacing was perfect.
Yeah,
like,
the set was basically bare. I mean, everything that was part of the set, they brought onto the set.
It was stripped down. That's why they needed such a raw performance.
Vocally, this is probably going to be me spewing out praises for these 2 leading women right now.
Oh my goodness.
For the next, like, 5 minutes. I just have to say that I became the biggest fan of Haley and Karina when I saw this show, and I just have to tell them, like, who are you? Like, I'm in awe of your talent. Like, it's just breathtaking. Let me just talk about Haley for a second. Sorry.
He's your biggest fan, by the way, Haley.
I just love how she brought to light, like, the raw, real, like, down and out Velma Kelly. Like, I just loved how she was so, like, like, in your face about it. I loved it. I loved every second that she was on stage.
It was so dark and so good and so smooth. Everything.
Yes. Karina, the contrast between Velma Kelly's raw and realness with Roxy's fake innocence was so
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful. I mean, I think their characters interacted so well together.
They did.
And I thought the dynamic between them was beautiful.
Oh, yeah. I think what I loved the most about Haley was that as soon as she would walk on stage, it was a different person. It wasn't Haley. It was somebody else. And she kept it on throughout the entire show. She had the sassiness that Velma Kelly needs. And, you know, she delivered it very, very flawlessly. And Karina has incredible vocals like Haley. So it was like, it was such an extreme battle between them the entire show.
Velma Kelly is personally my favorite character.
Okay.
Now, however, we asked you guys a few weeks ago, like, what character you would like to gender bend, and Roxy Hart is one of my number one. I think I would love to play that character.
Let's talk about Sabi for a split second.
Oh,
Mama Morton. Mama Morton was so good in the show. Her costume, her looks, her attitude, everything was just her demanding that stage, and it was so perfect. Yeah. And so did Eddie, right? Eddie, he did so good. Eddie did so good. He draws your attention whenever he's on stage.
One thing I have to say about him is that he has the charisma for that role.
Oh yeah.
This whole cast, this entire cast, leading, ensemble, supporting, everybody did their part, and it brought the whole thing together and made it a cohesive show that was so fun to watch.
Brian and Karina's chemistry was really good as well.
Yes. One of my favorite moments, because it's not my favorite performance, but one of my favorite moments was when Roxy's character sings Nowadays, right after the reporters don't want to have anything to do with her anymore.
And Karina was crying.
And Karina started crying, and I was shook. It was such a real moment, and you felt it. This week's Diamond in the Rough goes to Brian Rodriguez, who played Amos Hart and stole my heart. I thought he was so sweet.
Oh.
Like, it was so sweet, and it
that
was
made
like,
me cry,
like,
man.
Yeah, I think one of the most iconic moments from this musical, and I'm talking about like the Robert Vela musical, is when he asked for his exit music several times and they didn't play it. I thought that was so it was so sad, but it was so funny, and it was just
his comedic
perfect.
Timing.
Yeah, it really was.
It was so much fun watching Brian just pull that character off flawlessly.
Okay, so now we're gonna talk about our favorite performances. So what was yours? Because I think we have different ones this week.
My favorite performance was All That Jazz. Because let me go off.
Yes.
Haley, as soon as the musical started, I was like, okay. And I was sitting there, and the show started, and it was great. Beautiful lighting, beautiful costumes, everything. And then there was this one part when Haley hit that high note in All That Jazz, and it caught me so off guard, and I lost it. I was like, this is it.
We both did.
This is my favorite show.
When you hit that note, both of us
lost it.
Were like, what the hell did we sign up for? I think.
And Karina's, I gotta pee.
Yeah.
That was perfect too.
My favorite performance. This might not come as a shock to you, but my favorite performance was Roxy.
Of course.
And now Daniela is thinking, well, of course, because that's his favorite song from the musical, and she is correct.
He sings it in the car.
Yes,
if y'all want a cover of it, let us know.
I absolutely adore that song. I adored it before I saw the production, and I adored it even more once I left, because I think Karina pulled it off so beautifully, and I loved the moment where they had the stairs come out, and she was on them, and as they were moving around the stage, she was walking down.
Let's not forget about this moment also.
Yes. And I think as she was walking down the stairs when they were moving it, I thought it was such a great moment, and the lights on the staircase were so beautiful, and how the ensemble surrounded her.
Her facials, man. Her facials kill it all the time.
It was great.
And her vocals too. It was just so...
Yeah, it really was. Everybody that was on that stage should be very proud of the work that they put out on that stage.
And congratulations to all your nominations.
Yes, well
and
deserved.
Your nominees. Anyway, countdown to the Palm Awards.
Yes, we have, actually, after this video goes up, we will have 2 more videos that go up.
AKA 2 weeks?
Yes, and then we're taking a break.
A 1 week break. So in 3 weeks.
So prepare yourselves to binge if you haven't. And then we're going to be bringing you something special after the Palm Awards, the week of the Palm Awards. And then we'll be taking another 2-week break. After the 2-week break, we're going to be introducing it's going to be the kickoff for our summer series. If you watched our live a few weeks ago, it is going to be Broadway Carpool Karaoke. And I think we'll wait to announce the rest of the details until our last video of this season, just so you guys can be in suspense. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys.
Thank you to Robert Vela for everything. You guys are always checking up on us on Twitter, on Instagram, everywhere. You guys are everywhere. And
speaking of, I guess what's the word? Followers, I guess, or I don't know. The people
Friends,
who have been
colleagues.
Yeah, the people who have been supporting us, following us, reaching out to us since the very beginning. We just want to thank you guys from the bottom of our hearts for allowing this project to bloom and blossom in the way that it has, because it is literally...
It means the world to us.
Yeah, it is literally something that I look forward to doing every week.
Die.
Chill. It's just become a part of our lives, and I think...
we have so much fun doing it.
Yeah, no matter who's watching, we're always going to be trying to promote and just give you guys the spotlight, because you guys deserve it. And we just want to thank you so much for supporting us this far. And hopefully we can continue and bring it as long as you guys will let us.
Forever.
Well, so that's all we have for today's video. Not this week, though, because we do have 2 more videos coming out. One tomorrow and one on Saturday. So there will be 5 videos this week, which is a huge deal for us. And thank you so much for the people who were patient enough to understand that we were not able to post a video yesterday. Thank you so much. It didn't fit with our schedule, but we will be bringing you 5 videos as promised.
Yes.
So do not be afraid. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much.
Bye! See you tomorrow!
Okay.
Ew. Diamond in the rough.
Yeah, it was...
Diamond in the rough. And then...